Hello and welcome to another video. This time I'm playing F1 2019 for the FormulaTalks GP. Go follow him on Instagram if you love F1. And in this video we're doing two races, one at Spa and one at Hockenheim. Spa's my favorite track on the F1 calendar, so it should be a nice race. So going through Eau Rouge and Radion, easy flat out just as with the super performance cars and onto the cone straight. So DRS open, and I'm 600ths of a second faster on my personal best in sector 1. So let's keep that up, going into sector 2. Here downhill, easy to lock the brakes, didn't happen too much to me. And here using off the track if you can. I'm going into the pool, going a bit over the curb, but isn't a big worry because the corner cut straight in C was set on regular, so we get away with it. Here into the little right-hander, get a good exit, use the part of on the outside, and I didn't get a really good exit, so a bit of time loss on this section, and I'm 1.5 times up now, but I can improve really much in bus stop chicane here, as I didn't go through the corner very well on my last lap. So there was a 1:43.8, which is good for P6 in the end. And onto the starting grid then, waiting for the grid to form up, and then waiting for the lights to go on and then out. So into risk mix and overtake mode, trying to get a good launch, and it's a decent start. BK didn't have a really good start, so we get past him right away. Got a bit in a sandwich in Lassus, but we get away without damage. So place 1 into P5 it is. In the slipstream, gotta try to follow the leaders in front till at least lap 3 when the DRS gets enabled. So I lost a bit of time there through Le Com because I made a bit of contact with Willy. He took a bit of a slow line there, so we made a bit of contact. Fortunately, no damage for me, but a bit of time loss, so it's going to be a bit more difficult to keep close. For everyone, it's difficult to stay close to the car in front because of the dirty air, so we're trying our best. Here I went a bit too wide, bad exit, and the positive Miller lap goes too wide on the little right-hander, and he underestimated it. I think it's flat out, you don't need to underestimate it. So he touched the outside wall, and he is out of the race, just as the two Red Bulls. The guys in front here are squabbling a little bit, and Willy went a bit wide out of the bus stop chicane, and I'm really close behind him, but he gets a better exit than I did, probably using a higher engine and ERS mode. Well, I already had rich mix, so probably on the ERS. And you could see there that my engine is overheating a little bit, so putting it into a lower engine mix right away. Doesn't really happen, so we skip forward to lap 6, because here I made a mistake going into pool. I went too much on the curb. I managed to keep it out of the wall there, but when rejoining, the car suddenly spun again, so now I have damage. Really bad mistake there. So going right away in the pits right away to get a new front wing, because in those cars you lose a lot of time with damage, because it really affects the aerodynamics of the car, which is a huge factor in this game, in those cars. So out of the pits we go. I rejoined in P8, but later on in lap 15 I went back up to P5 as others made the pit stop. So looking at the mini-map there, we see a Ferrari going into the pits. It's Felix. He was battling for the lead and he ended up making contact with the racing point, which then led to him going into the wall. So we get past him as he was also replacing his front wing. But I need to watch out for him because he's on fresh soft tires and he's going to be very quick in the stint. So lap 18, the gap is 7.4 seconds. You can see on the upper left corner. And going into the penultimate lap, lap 21, the gap is down to 1.7 seconds. That proves how quick he is on soft tires compared to me on worn out mediums. So he's very likely to pass me in the next lap or so. We're going to follow me on board for the majority of this lap. And just using rich mix for the straights and high ERS modes at the beginning of the straight, then going into low modes to harvest a bit more. And at the end of sector 1 I won a little bit time, but here in sector 2 he's going to get behind me really quickly, because he's just very so much quicker than I am in the corners, because he has so much better tires. So you can see now I've lean, mix and low ERS, so I can use it on the straights more. And at the end of sector 2 the gap is down to half a second, which proves that he's really quick at this moment. So I'm going to try now to pull away from him a bit on the straights, using high modes in the beginning and then going to low modes. And my tires are almost 50%, which is quite much in this game, and probably he has about 20%. It's a big difference. So trying to get a good exit, but I think it has no use because he's going to have DRS and certainly will use the highest mixes as well as I do. So I'm low on energy, so he goes past easily, but we made contact as I was still on the apex, but he turned in on the apex. Can happen, racing incident I think, and fortunately I managed to keep it out of the wall and in front of Don's steering wheel in the Haas. So we keep 5th place, and it wasn't a very eventful race, but I had really much fun doing this because it's a long race. It was quite intense. So CB Neox wins in front of Willy, and then Porsche in 3rd, and then Felix in 4th, and I am in 5th place. 1 week later, we're at Hockenheim, formation lap, bit of messy formation lap, but no worries really. So now waiting for the lights to go on, and they're on. It's lights out and away we go. Again, decent start, and we overtake Felix right away because he has server issues in this race, and the VSC gets deployed right away as well. Something happened behind us, and one place won already, and my teammate somehow overtook me here, but I can place back. But really unfortunate for Felix because he was a contender for the win, obviously, and hopefully he has no problems with the next race, because then we can have a fun battle with each other. So it's important now to keep right below the delta during the PSC, because you don't want to lose time in this situation. Unfortunately, we do, because Formula Lab had a bug with his delta, and we can't overtake him because it's the virtual safety car, which is actually full course yellow. So yeah, he had a bug, really unfortunate. So now it's going to be a bit of a hard task to get back to the group in front of us, and also losing a bit of time here to Formula Lab. Still within a second, gotta keep that, gotta keep within a second of him, because DRS is going to help a lot in this race, because this long straight we're heading in is just really long here. Here I'm getting my first warning of the race at the first corner. Again, the rules were set on regular, so you could still cut a lot of the first corner, which isn't really fair, I think, because some people maybe didn't know that. Never mind. The cars in front were squabbling. Here they're making contact. They were actually ghosting into each other, going 3 wide in the hairpin. That doesn't work. But I got in front of them, which is really nice. Also here into P3, because Formula Lab got that exit out of that corner. He slided, and P3 that is podium position. So BK goes into the pits in front of us, as did from the lap I did on the next lap, on the following lap, and I went away quite late. I don't know why I didn't release the clutch, or let's just say the shift pedal, because that's what we use as a clutch. But that means that the guys behind us had cocked up right behind me again. Porsche tried to go down the inside of the second corner, but I covered him up. But now they have DRS, so it's 3 wide again through the hairpin. And I make contact with Formula Lab, and Pacho got in front of me, but here I've slipstream, so trying to take the place back, lock a bit of the inside of the tire, but we got him with a bit of squeezing, but I squeezed through. So next up are those 2 guys who haven't made a stop yet. So virtually we're now back into P3. Onto the next lap, onto lap 10. I have got Formula Lab behind me. He overtakes me, and I tried to do a switchback here, but it didn't work out. so he pulled away later. But Butcher had an incident with someone else, so he fell behind. So he's out of the battle. In lap 16 now, 6 laps later, I'm in 5th place behind Killian, but he makes his first stop. He started on mediums, so he did one stop because he switched to hard tires in the stop. So no battling, but I did get DRS from him, which is really useful. And here lap 20, now making my second and last pit stop, and going onto the mediums again. And this time I do get away well, so I didn't lose too much time. But I did lose some time in the last stint because I made a few mistakes. And yeah. So I'm behind Killian again. Here are the two Williams, getting slipstream from them, and the DRS. Really useful. But now I gotta catch up to Killian again, and I've taken. It shouldn't be really difficult because I'm on fresh mediums and he's on used hards. So I should have the pace advantage over. Now I'm harvesting a bit of fuel, a bit of energy, and saving a bit of fuel in the middle sector, so I can use high modes when being on the straights. And that's what I did for the whole race actually, because that's where you can use it the best, the energy and the fuel on the straights. Here I'm turning it up again, 2.4 seconds, 2.5 actually, to Killian in front. And here, just 2 corners further, and the gap is down to 1.6, so he probably made a big mistake there. Or he's just really saving loads of fuel. I don't know, but I'm catching up for sure. That's what I know. So next lap, DRS overtake mode, but back to medium again because yeah, it was quite easy to overtake him right here with the slipstream DRS. I went a bit deep, but I still got him. So that's up into 4th place again. Next up is BK, but he's a few seconds up the road. I also defended a little bit from Killian here because just to be sure, because you don't want to get stuck behind him. On to lap 27, just driving consistently, and the VSC gets deployed again. A few corners. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the VSC did deploy because a racing point spun and crashed at turn 1. But this is a good moment for us to save a bit of energy, save a bit of fuel, harvest a bit of energy, so I can push on. So I can push later on in this race. And there's actually a yellow flag in front of us, and it's Formula Lap. And what happened actually was that Formula Lap had a bug again, and then when the Delta showed up again, because it was gone, and then it showed up again, and he had to brake really hard. So Jarno behind him didn't pay attention, and he crashed into him, which caused Formula Lap to spin and crash into the wall. So Jarno and Formula Lab both have front wing damage, and that could well play in my favor, because as I said, the front wing damage has really big impact on the aerodynamics of the car. As you can see in sector 3, I'm gaining a lot of time on him, only because he has damage. So here, going through with DRS, going into the second corner, that's into third place now, but he does have DRS on me, and he's right behind. It was a good move for him if he did think about it, because he gets back into third place and I can do the switch back on him. So now I'm going to wait for the majority of those sectors and just take a moment to harvest energy and save fuel, so I can push on and maybe catch up the other guys in front after I've overtaken Mulala, because he is really going slow here. So I'm going to wait till the longest straight, because otherwise it will happen again to me that he overtakes me. So just waiting, and unfortunately I lost time to the other guys, but it is what it is. So you're trying to get a good exit, but I didn't feel like I went on throttle too early, but the game said I did, I guess, because otherwise I wouldn't spin. Almost spin. So next lap, trying it again, and yeah, their DRS open. Just yeah, you maybe know the rest of the story. Just slide past him without any issues. I went a bit deep though, but I got it. Next up is Jarno. He also has damage, as I said, and it is going to be a bit difficult to catch up to him, because there's still 3.5 laps to go. But it should be difficult. 3.4 seconds is the gap right now.
3 laps of fuel remaining.
And going into the third and last sector, I got a back marker in front of me again, but all the back markers are ghosting, so that's really nice, because now I have DRS, which is really beneficial for me. 2.4 seconds is the gap now to Jarno. He's losing a lot of time in the last sector. And going on the straight, Felix won the Felix 1 bot, shall I say, because he of course left. Gave me again DRS. And there's Jarno right in front of us, the orange McLaren. He was also quite fast. In the qualifying session he started P2, now he's P2 again, because BK started on pole. Really good job by them. And now heading into the last sector again, it's lap 32, 1.2 seconds. And yeah, you see here, just closing it really quickly through that corner. So it shouldn't be difficult to overtake him, because he has damage. He goes wide out of the last corner, and we're side by side going into turn 1. He nudged me on the gravel a little bit, so I'm waiting. waiting to get past on this straight. Here we go. Overtake mode, rich fuel mixture, and there we go. DRS. So fly past him again, and he doesn't fight back also. So that's it. Shortly into P2. Now trying to get away, and BK is too far ahead, 3.7 seconds. But I'm still going to try and catch up to him because he could have picked up a penalty. Always try, and you never know. Because in this game, watching on YouTube, I've seen many people getting penalties many times in online races, in league races. Watching TM Marduk and
this is your final lap of the race.
Does he do league racing? I don't know. But also Tiro Limitless. So with that information, still pushing on, and also getting a DRS from backmark again, this time Days in the Mercedes. And hopefully for me, BK has got a penalty, because then I will win the race, which will be really nice. So now harvesting a bit of energy again, and then I'm going to push into the last sector, because that's my strong point of this track, I think. Here, just using the last bit of fuel and energy to try and close down the gap. The gap is now 3 seconds, about that. And going out of the last corner, crossing the line here, he takes a checkered flag, but you see, he went down to P2 and I went up into P1. So he indeed had a penalty, a 3-second penalty, and so I take the win. I took the win. Really happy about that. This race was so intense, and I'm also happy that I drove a good last stint. For my feeling, I think it was a good last stint. Catching up to Millap and Yarna with, well, they had damage of course, but it felt really good. So this is the end of the video. I had very much fun in this race and also at that Spa race. But this winning is just very much better than finishing P5, of course. And this Sunday we're doing a race again, so stay tuned on Instagram at FormulaTalks and watch the stream. Maybe on YouTube, maybe on his Twitch. I don't know who are going to stream, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.